Hello, welcome to revision number 2 of EN1101 Communication Skills of the BIT degree conducted by the University of Colombo School of Computing. So, we have been discussing the MCQ paper of 2014, the past paper. We have discussed up to question number 12. So, let's start from question number 13. Hope you are ready. Which of the following is the least suitable statement to attract your audience during the opening of your speech on forgiveness? So, the speech topic is forgiveness. So, I hope the question is clear. What is the least suitable way? They do not say the wrong way or the incorrect way, but the least suitable way of the given options. So, when they say the least suitable way, you should understand, if you know your English, you should understand that there is only one correct answer, because the least suitable way means there's one answer, one option. So, let's see what is the least suitable statement to attract your audience during the opening of your speech. So, the opening of your speech is the first opportunity that you get to attract the audience. So, you have to make maximum use of it. So, let's see. The first option says, "Good morning, today I am going to speak about forgiveness." Now, that's the usual way that we have been taught in school, everywhere else. Good morning, dear students, dear principal, dear teachers. So, today I am going to speak about forgiveness. So, that's number one. Look at B. Have you ever been forgiven by someone or something? So, that's a question. Now, remember, we are talking about forgiveness. How would it sound like if you start with a question? Have you ever been forgiven by someone or something? So that's very attractive, because it will get your whole audience thinking, oh my, have I been forgiven somewhere in life by someone? They'll all think about it. So you get their attention there. Going to see, always forgive your enemies. Nothing annoys them so much, said Oscar Wilde. So that's a statement, that's a quote by a famous person, which is yet another very attractive way of opening your speech. D. Mahatma Gandhi once said, "The weak can never forgive. Forgiveness is the attribute of the strong." So this is once again a very attractive opening, a quote by a well-known person, Mahatma Gandhi, and something he said about forgiveness, something great, a great statement made by him about forgiveness. So this is definitely going to attract the audience. E. To err is human, to forgive divine. To err means to make errors, to make mistakes, and to forgive, it's divine, means it's heavenly. It has exceeded even human qualities. So this is a popular statement known to almost all of us. So how would it be if you start off your topic, the speech about forgiveness, with something like this? Yes, it's going to be very attractive. So you're supposed to find the most boring way of opening the speech here. So what is the most boring way, or what is the least attractive way is, "Good morning, today I'm going to speak about forgiveness." So please remember, this is not a wrong way of starting, but it's a boring way compared to the rest of the speech openers. That's the correct answer. Yes. Question number 14. Which of the following is correct regarding body language during a public speech? Okay, keep your arms crossed in front. Now, how do you do that? You keep your arms crossed in front. Now, this is supposed to be a very negative sort of body language, right? So, don't do it while you're either doing a public speech, or even if you are listening, try to avoid that. B. It's all right to sit on the floor if it is an appropriate gesture for your speech. What do you think? Can you sit on the floor while doing a speech? Why not? Yes, you can, as long as it has something to do with your speech. Maybe you're showing your audience how someone sat. So as long as it is appropriate, go ahead and sit on the floor. It's perfectly all right. Do not be afraid. Dramatize your body language. No, you shouldn't do that, because a public speech is not a drama. All the body language should come very naturally. So if you overdo it and if you dramatize it, it's going to look like a drama and it's not going to look natural. It's going to be very, very artificial and it's not nice. D. Use your facial expressions to help convey your message. Yes, you have to. Now you have to use it in such a manner to convey your message appropriately. For example, it's always nice to wear a nice pleasant smile on your face and change appropriately. Maybe you're talking about something sad that happened to you. Then you have to have a sad look on your face. If you're talking about some serious issue, look serious. So likewise, please make use of the facial expressions to enhance the message that you deliver through your public speech, to convey your message as much as possible. E. Stand in one place throughout your speech. Well, some speakers do that. They stand in one place rooted to the spot, which is very boring. So don't do that. You can use the floor. The floor is yours or the stage is yours. Use it. Use it very well. You don't need to stand in one place. So let's see what the answers are. It's all right to sit on the floor if it is appropriate. B. And use your facial expressions to help convey your message. Those are the two correct answers. Moving on to question number 15. Identify the correct statements regarding vocal variety. Your volume should always be loud. Well, it is not so. You can bring your volume down sometimes. Yes, but it has to be audible. It has to be audible, but you can vary your voice, which helps convey your message. If it helps enhancing your message of the speech, please use vocal variety, but it doesn't mean you have to keep on speaking with a very loud voice all the time. You can bring your volume down at particular places. 2. If you bring your volume down, your voice should still be audible. Yes, we just discussed that. 3. You need not worry about the pitch of your voice. Well, you do have to, when vocal variety is considered. Now, supposing you're just trying to say the audience what someone else said. Maybe you have a lot of characters now. For example, I'll take a very simple example. Maybe you're telling a bedtime story to a kid, and in usual the fairy tales, the bedtime stories of children, you have lots of characters, men, women, animals. So you can take different voices to represent each character. That is wonderful. So you need to vary the pitch of your voice as well whenever required. So what are the correct statements here? 2 only. If you bring your volume down, your voice should still be audible. Yes. So we'll move on to question 16. Identify the incorrect statements about listening. It is similar to hearing. Well, no. Most people think that listening is hearing. But if you think carefully, they are two different things. How many things do you hear per day? Do you listen to all of that? You hear the tick of the clock, but it is almost unnoticeable because you don't listen to it. You don't try to grasp it. You don't try to, pay attention to it. So listening is different from just hearing. So remember that. Listen to ideas more than words. Now, when you listen, The best way to listen is listen to ideas, take chunks of ideas, and that is how you understand, that is how it goes inside your brain, that is how you understand the message, the point of the speaker. Otherwise, if you listen word by word, you may miss the message. Sometimes you may be looking for something else. If you listen word by word, you may be finding out things like, for example, if you are a proofreader, if your job is suppose that your job is to find the grammatical mistakes of that speech, yes, then maybe you can listen word by word. But if you want to listen to that speech and you want to understand the content of it and you want to try to grasp the message, then you have to listen to ideas. Try to take chunks of ideas and not words alone. 3. It is important to show that you're listening. Why not? Yes, it encourages the speaker very much. Show that you're listening, but don't just show. I want you to actually listen and then show that you're listening. So the answers, we have a few options here. Yeah. What are the incorrect statements? So the incorrect statement is, it is similar to hearing. So it is totally different from hearing. We'll move on to question number 17. Okay, so you have a diagram over here. The diagram given below shows what a speaker says and a listener thinks. The speaker says, eating healthy is very important when we... So the speaker continues, while the listener thinks, uh-oh, here we go again. Not another lecture about vitamins and minerals. So the moment the listener hears the speaker starting the speech, eating healthy is very important when we, and the listener thinks he's going to speak about vitamins and minerals. And the listener has made a judgment saying that it's going to be boring. Okay, so he thinks, okay, this is going to be boring and I'm not prepared to listen to another speech about vitamins and minerals. I'm sick of it. I'm so tired of it. It's going to be so boring. So that's what the listener thinks. Okay. So this is the question actually. We didn't come to the question yet. Which of the following is correct regarding the speaker and the listener given in the diagram? So we'll have to analyze this speaker and the listener. A. The listener is not an active listener. What do you mean by an active listener? What characteristics does an active listener has? Usually, as we mentioned in the earlier question, an active listener, he doesn't listen for words, he listens for ideas. And then there are other things, like he doesn't prepare mental rebuttals, he doesn't prepare mental judgments. He waits until the speaker finishes his or her point before coming to a judgment. Right? So the listener is not, definitely this listener is not an active listener, because the moment he heard the first words, the very first words of the speaker, he thought the speaker is going to speak about vitamins and minerals. So he may be correct and may be not correct. B. The listener should wait until the speaker finishes her or his point. Yes, he should wait. Because until, who knows whether the speaker was going to say something totally different rather than talking about vitamins and minerals. He may have said something totally different. So what happens is, when the listener make prejudgments like that, just by listening to a few words, he mentally switches off the knowledge he would have gained otherwise. What happens to all of us is we mentally switch off thinking, assuming that the speaker is going to say this, and we mentally switch off, and the rest of the knowledge we were about to get will be lost by doing that. So that's a big mistake that people do. So that's why they say this, Listener should wait until the speaker finishes her or his point. C. The listener is mentally interrupting with counter-arguments or judgments. Yes, that's what he's doing. He's mentally assuming that the speaker is going to say this, that the speaker is going to say something about vitamins and minerals, and he has assumed, oh, here we go again, which means he's not ready to listen, it's going to be boring, so he has made a judgment already. So with that, he's mentally interrupting himself, so which will definitely switch off the knowledge that he's yet to gain. What the listener thinks is correct. D. No, we cannot say so without hearing the rest of what the speaker has to say. We cannot say whether the listener is correct. E. The speaker should have selected an interesting topic to talk. Well, once again, we cannot make a judgment like that because we don't know what the speaker is going to say. We didn't give him or her a chance, an opportunity to finish his sentence or to finish his point. So who are we to make judgments like that? We should never do something like that. So that's a good lesson for all of us. And let's see what the correct answers are. Okay, here we go. The listener is not an active listener. A. B. The listener should wait until the speaker finishes his point. The listener is mentally interrupting with counter-arguments or judgments. So these are the answers. Yes, we have a passage in the paper. Questions 19 to 23 are based on the following passage. Read the passage carefully and answer the respective questions. So let me read this passage. I have here paragraph by paragraph. The gardens of the Sigiriya are one of the most important aspects of the site, as it is among the oldest landscaped gardens in the world. The gardens are divided into three distinct but linked forms: water gardens, cave and boulder gardens, and terraced gardens. Yes, and then we have another paragraph talking about some other point of Sigiriya. The water gardens can be seen in the central section of the western precinct. Three principal gardens are found here. The first garden consists of a plot surrounded by water. It is connected to the main precinct using 4 causeways, with gateways placed at the head of each causeway. This garden is built according to an ancient garden form known as Chaba, and is one of the oldest surviving models of this form. The second contains 2 long deep pools set on either side of the path, 2 shallow serpentine streams. Serpentine streams means streams, little rivers that flow like serpents. They don't go straight, so they lead to these pools. Fountains made of circular limestone plates are placed here. Underground water conduits supply water to these fountains, which are still functional, especially during the rainy season. 2 large islands are located on either side of the second water garden. Summer palaces are built on the flattened surfaces of these islands. 2 more islands are located farther to the north and the south. These islands are built in a manner similar to the island in the first water garden. The third garden is situated on a higher level than the other 2. It contains a large octagonal pool with a raised podium on its northwest corner. The large brick and stone wall of the citadel is on the eastern edge of this garden. So you have a picture of the symmetric gardens of Sigiriya. The water gardens are built symmetrically on an east-west axis. They are connected with the outer moat on the west and the large artificial lake to the south of the Sigiriya rock. All the pools are also interlinked using an underground conduit network fed by the lake and connected to the moats. A miniature water garden is located to the west of the first water garden, consisting of several small pools and water courses. This recently discovered smaller garden appears to have been built after the Kashyapyan period, possibly between the 10th and 13th centuries. The boulder gardens consist of several large boulders linked by winding pathways. The gardens extend from the northern slopes to the southern slopes of the hills at the foot of Sigiriya rock. Most of these boulders had a building or pavilion upon them. There are cuttings that were used as footings for brick walls and beams. The terraced gardens are formed from the natural hill at the base of the Sigiriya rock. A series of terraces rises from the pathways of the boulder garden to the staircases on the rock. These have been created by the construction of brick walls and are located in a roughly concentric plan around the rock. The path through the terraced garden is formed by a limestone staircase. From this staircase, there is a covered path on the side of the rock leading to the uppermost terrace where the lion staircase is situated. So that's the end of the passage. Yes, question number 19 based on the passage that we have. So if you can refer the past paper from our site, that will be very useful. Just go through the passage. Yes. The main purpose of this passage is to A. Create a feeling of patriotism among Sri Lankans. Well, we can say it does not, but it doesn't look like the main purpose of this passage, because creating patriotism may address some different aspects also, because it doesn't talk about all the components of Sigiriya, about the graffiti, about the wonderful frescoes and all that. So going to the next option, highlight the greatness of the historical fortress. We know it's great, but this particular passage, I doubt whether it highlights the greatness that much. Describe the landscape of Sigiriya. Yes, that does it very well in this passage. Discuss the importance of preserving the site. No, it is not discussed there. It doesn't say anything about preservation of Sigiriya and what is being currently done and what should be done, and there is not even a, it doesn't even end with an appeal saying that we have to do something about it. So it doesn't. E. Describe the importance of Sigiriya as a World Heritage Site. No, it doesn't describe Sigiriya that much. As I said, it doesn't talk anything about the graffiti and anything about the paintings, and it doesn't describe all the facts. So the correct answer is, the purpose of this passage is to describe the landscape of Sigiriya. Moving on to question number 20. In paragraph 5, the author writes, this recently discovered smaller garden appears to have been built after the Kashyapyan period, possibly between the 10th and 13th centuries. Now, this statement, A, contradicts at a previous idea. Please go through the passage once again. I read it once, but you go through it now. Supports a later point. As you can see, it doesn't support any later point. Refers to an earlier statement. Well, yes, because sometimes even without looking at that passage, you can say, because it starts with this recently discovered smaller garden, which indicates that we have talked about this garden before. So definitely it refers to an earlier statement. Introduces a new idea. No. Confuses the readers. Not at all. So the answer is refers to an earlier statement. Moving on to question number 21. Which of the following best describes a moat? A sluice gate. Now these are parts of a tank or a reservoir system. If you study the reservoir systems, the ancient tanks of Sri Lanka, you have sluice gates and canals and so on. A moat is not a sluice gate. A canal, no. A barrier? No. A moat can act as a barrier, but we cannot say it is the definition of the moat. It has been used as a barrier sometimes, yes. A tank outlet? Well, not exactly. And a deep wide trench filled with water? Well, yes, you can describe it that way, because it says which of the following best describes. It doesn't say that the others do not describe it at all. It asks for the best options. So when you see the word best, it is asking for the best option. You should know that there is only one correct answer in this question, if you know your English. Yes, a deep wide trench filled with water. 22. Which of the following is an antonym? Antonym means opposite in meaning, an opposite word for father. We saw the word father, F-A-R-T-H-E-R, in the passage. So they're asking you for the antonym, for the opposite word. Closer, mother? Well, it's not father, F-A-T-H-E-R, F-A-R-T-H-E-R, so it's not mother. Thinner, narrower, clean. So the answer is closer, because father means far, the distance. Like, now if you're not sure of the meaning of the sentence like this, please go refer it in the passage, because when you read that section of the passage, even if you do not know the meaning of the word, by the rest you can understand its meaning. Going to the next question, 23. Which of the following summarizes the passage? A. The gardens of Sigiriya are divided into three distinct but linked forms: water gardens, cave and boulder gardens, and terrace gardens. Yes, it summarizes, but they have copied lots of words, chunks of words from the original passage. So there's a lot of plagiarism. We cannot accept that. Sigiriya has a beautiful landscape. Not enough. The landscape gardens of Sigiriya falls into three categories, namely water gardens, cave and boulder gardens, and terraced gardens. Yes, that summarizes the passage, whole passage, I would say. D. The gardens of Sigiriya are built according to an ancient garden form known as chaba. Yes, but it doesn't summarize the passage. Sigiriya is a beautiful rock fortress. Yes, the fact is true, but it does not summarize. So the answer is C, right? We move on to question number 24. Which of the following is true regarding summarizing? A. References should be included. Yes, we have to. Plagiarism is not allowed. No, it's not allowed. Should be brief, of course, that's why we call it a summary. Should be an overview of the original text. Yes, of course. Should include all the keywords of the original text. Well, no, because that will be plagiarism. So let's see the answers. Yes, all four answers are correct, A, B, C, D, but not E. Moving on to the last question of the paper. So we have covered one paper here. Which of the following is true regarding paraphrasing? A. Usually shorter than the summary. Well, no. Usually longer than the summary. Yes, it's usually long, but it's not a must. It's not compulsory. C. Should be written in one's own words. Yes, of course. References should be included. Yes, of course. Plagiarism is allowed. No, 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 not at all. So the correct answers are B, C, and D. So with that, we have just finished discussing the paper, 2014 paper, and we have finished the revision of the what we have is now is an e-test, and you get similar questions. So this was the past paper, and I hope this helped you. So wish you all the very best for the e-test. Have a nice day.